In Murrindindi Shire, it's business as unusual, and right now our local businesses need you. Every dollar you spend locally helps business owners support their family, other businesses and you. Shop local, shop Dindi. Visit dindidirectory.com.au.
Welcome to Dindi Live, presented by Murrindindi Shire Council. Simulcast on UGFM in your local area. Dindi Live would like to introduce Shantelle Matcham.
I've got something to confess. I've gone and got myself in this man-made mess. 'Cause I was just sick of the same old scenes. Now I'm tired of my bad routines. Wasn't my intention to hurt. Part of me is so scared to let go. And how do you change it? 'Cause how you feel is the only way I know. It's the only way I know how to go. I see it in their eyes, they're reliant on hope. 'Cause all of these reasons that I cry, and all of these scars they don't leave them behind, and all of these hiding away, I've never felt worthy enough to stay. I'm making bad choices because of these voices in my head. I'm making bad choices because of these voices in my head. Now I've got something to say. The satisfaction I once got has now gone away. And the fears of being alone creep in. They're making it comfortable, I'm right under my skin. Wasn't my intention to hurt. All of these scars they don't leave them behind, and all of these hiding away, I've never felt worthy enough to stay. I'm making bad choices because of these voices in my head. I'm making bad choices because of these voices in my head. 'Cause all of these reasons that I cried, and all of these scars that I'm leaving behind, all of these hiding away, I'm never felt worthy enough to stay. I'm making bad choices because of these voices in my head. I'm making bad choices because of these voices in my head, and what they've said. Welcome to Dindi Live, and I'm Shantelle Matcham, and I'm here to sing your favourite tunes. 'Cause does it make you feel better just to light it up? 'Cause it makes me feel better with a tiny little cry. Some people, they don't get it, they will never understand. Nobody can feel it like you and I. 'cause they know when we do it, it eases all the pain. 'Cause my swollen noise and distant lies can't hold back the rain. I can't hold back the rain. 'Cause we go distant nights, and we pour on our disguise. 'Cause though you're trying to conceal it, you're not allowed to feel it no more. And it's not okay to grieve it, but we're just trying to breathe it, but it ain't working for me no more. 'Cause we go distant nights, yeah, we go distant nights. 'Cause doesn't make you feel better just to brush me aside. I'm swept under a rug, hiding as people walk on by. 'Cause it makes me feel better just to start myself. They say it's not good for my head, it's not good for my health. 'Cause we go distant nights, and we pour on our disguise. 'Cause though you're trying to conceal it, you're not allowed to feel it no more. And it's not okay to grieve it, but we're just trying to breathe it, but it ain't working for me no more. 'Cause yeah, we go distant nights, yeah, we go distant nights. 'Cause you can numb the pain with a needle or a spew. Eat everything till your hand is black and bruised, until you're filled with the sensation that the pain kind of feels good. Oh, not the way that pain really should. 'Cause we go distant nights, and we pour on our disguise. 'Cause though you're trying to conceal it, you're not allowed to feel it no more. And it's not okay to grieve it, but we're just trying to breathe it, but it ain't working for me. No, it ain't working for me no more. 'Cause yeah, we go distant nights, yeah, we've got distant nights. 'Cause people, they don't see it, people, they don't realize that I've got distant nights, that we've got distant nights, that we've all got distant nights. 'Cause it's not fair how you playing me like a lovesick fool. And I just can't take the thought of knowing what we had might not be true to you. And all that once was has been dried up, it's all gone. 'Cause I was scared to let you in and out, and wonder if trusting you was wrong. And oh, I'm so tired. I'm tired of these games. They're all the same. And please tell me there's no spark to ignite the flame within our hearts. 'Cause all that's in my head, there was questions left unsaid. And I'm tired of adoring you. And why do you mess me around? First you're up and then you're heading back down. You keep leading me in the direction of something more. But if that's not your intention, what are you hurting me for? And oh, I'm so tired. I'm tired of these games. They're all the same. And please tell me there's no spark to ignite the flame within our hearts. 'Cause all that's in my head, there was questions left unsaid. And I'm tired of adoring you. And I'm tired of adoring you. I'm spinning through a big crowd. There's music going on, and everybody's heading's in the air. It's 1 o'clock, but the night's just begun. I step into the cold air, cigarettes filling my lungs. Young girls walking under street lights, hoping they don't get seen by anyone. 'Cause we're all dancing with the devil, and he don't even know our name. We're all dancing with the devil, 'cause the truth is we're all insane. 'Cause we're all dancing with the devil, and he don't care what we have done. We're all dancing with the devil. There was no harm if you were having fun. The sound of glass breaking, and taxis flowing in and out, and the lady with her head in the toilet while her best friends at the bar bust out. There's people locking eyes, hands in pockets telling lies. And as she kisses down his neck to your record, he feels some guilt inside. 'Cause we're all dancing with the devil, and he don't care what we've done. We're all dancing with the devil. There's no harm if you were having fun. 'Cause we're all dancing with the devil, and he don't even care about a name. We're all dancing with the devil. is over and all the lights have turned on. Everybody else has danced with the devil. Now he grabs my hand for some fun. 'Cause we're all dancing with the devil, and he don't even know our names. We're all dancing with the devil, 'cause the truth is we're all insane. We're all dancing with the devil, and he don't care what we have done. We're all dancing with the devil. There was no harm if you were having fun. A life too short, taken away, and now you fade away to be in the higher place. So untamed, a little misunderstood. You had this cheeky little smile, and you knew you were up to no good. He's a little bit crazy, but with a big heart of gold. You're one in a million, fly high, you beautiful soul. And when the stars they come out at night, when they shine, I think of you. You're one in a million, fly high, you beautiful soul. Wish you turned up a different road, walked up a different lane. I wish I could go back to the night I'd shed away all of your pain. 'Cause I shed my laughs and my tears, and you shed yours too. And when the choir comes on the radio, I sing along for you. You a little bit crazy, with a big heart of gold. You're one in a million, fly high, you beautiful soul. And when the stars come out at night, when they shine, I think of you. You're one in a million, fly high, you beautiful soul. On the radio, I sing along for you. You're one in a million, fly high, you're beautiful soul. Fly high, you're beautiful soul.
Up next, we speak to Darren Gilbert about his work.
Hi, welcome to Dindi Live. My name's Darren Gilbert. Here we are at my windy studio in Highlands at the moment.
Can you tell us about your work?
I'm what I'd like to call myself a designer, which covers all different mediums, sculpting, drawing, computer graphics and stuff like that. I specialise in basically two particular disciplines at this point in time here in my studio, where I have a workshop and a studio. These two different disciplines are pen and ink drawing, which I do birds and Australian wildlife. And the other thing is recycling sculptures, which I like to construct out of metal and using elements from this particular beautiful spot.
Why were you inspired to have a career in art?
I've always been in the arts, what I call the arts industry, all my life in some form or another. I've always drawn all my life, which I think is the same with everybody else. I love it, so I spend an hour or two each day drawing, which gives me the kind of the ideas and the inspiration to move on to other artistic and creations. I love Australian aesthetics, meaning the wildlife, the rocks, and I'm not sure if you can see the rocks and trees and everything around here, and I especially like Australian wildlife. I find these things really, really challenging to draw and portray in an artistic endeavour way. And it's always inspired me and will keep continually going throughout my whole life, trying to get that Australian flavour into my artworks.
What drew you to work and live in the Murrindindi Shire?
15 years ago, we found an ad in the Weekly Times newspaper, and all it said was a country block with a boutique orchard and a shack, a one-bedroom shack, which is to the left of here, so hopefully we'll get a shot of that. We loved what it said in that ad. We came up here and we found it in this Murrindindi Shire, in this beautiful, beautiful setting of highlands. The trees are green, there's rocks, there's everything here that kind of inspires an artistic mind, and a great place to bring up a family. I have two kids, and my wife, obviously we're married, thought this would be a great place to bring up the two kids and pursue our careers, both my wife and myself, here in the Shire of Murrindindi, especially in this place in Highlands, and it's an amazing place, and I still don't know why there aren't more people here, to be quite honest, because of the beauty of the place.
Are you inspired by the local landscape?
Inspired by the landscape? I love my Australian critters. Each season here is different, and each season brings out a whole different bunch of new Australian critters. Last year it was the butterflies. We had thousands and thousands of butterflies. And also we had ladybugs, which came out. They're not the black and red ones, but the green ones. And there were hundreds and hundreds of ladybugs. And it inspired me to do these drawings. So I've done drawings of ladybugs in the last couple of months. It's really hard to draw these things because they're so small and trying to get reference for them. But every season here inspires me to do another particular set of critters. This year it's the birds of prey also. They've come out, and haven't seen this amount of birds of prey. Not the big ones, not the wedge-tailed eagles, the smaller ones like the goshawks and the kestrels and stuff like that. And they have also inspired me to draw those particular birds and find out more about them. Also, what inspires me here is the colours, which are reflected in some of the sculptures and the rust and stuff like, which is naturally born. You can't paint these colours, and it's all created here in this landscape, and you can't get these colours and shapes and anything else but in the city, but you can get them out here by watching and observing this particular environment.
Why do you focus on two different mediums?
I like both of them. Both of them have their own disciplines. Both of them have their own problems and traits and ways of doing things and materials and instruments and tools to do them, but they're kind of the same. It's all about the aesthetic. It's all about the Australian aesthetic and finding that shape, that colour, which you can only find in Australia. It's hard to describe how these things are. And after a while, I see these shapes and love portraying them in a different format. There are, one in the sculptures, one in the pen and ink things. One day I'd like to do a bird sculpture, which is ultra detailed, like my pen and ink drawings, but that's for another lifetime.
How important is being environmentally aware in your practice?
I like the environmental aspect of living here. Myself and my wife both love the environmental and trying to leave as small a footprint on this earth as we possibly can. We're off the grid here. We live off our own solar and wind turbine and water, trying to grow our own vegetables and stuff like this. As in turn, that's trying to leave a smaller footprint. What I like about trying to do that is I find materials which was found here was the roofing iron when we first moved here. I love the aesthetic of it and the history behind these particular bits of roofing iron, because they have to be old and they're already on buildings. So to me, recycling these particular roofing iron and metal and stuff like that kind of is the next step in that particular life of that material. And also the same with my pen and ink and painting and stuff like that particular disciplines, that there is a element of environmental friendliness to it, and they just are trying to portray how they look in the environment and how they fit into that particular environment. Sometimes it's best with my pen and ink to strip all the environment, the background out, and just have the birds, because they are floating in their environment. It goes on. It all kind of is all interconnected. This environmental actions and leaving small footprints and recycling materials.
Can you show us some of your work?
Okay, this is one of my heart sculptures. Always done these like these. They have changed a lot over the time. What they made out of is roofing iron here, which is roof. These particular bits, there's all different types of roofing iron here, and it has to be the really old stuff. I'm figuring it's called Lysart from after the war till about 1970s. This particular corrugated iron has a lot of lead in it, so I can crush it and bend it and do all of these, flatten it all out and do some magical bends in it, stuff like that. As a consequence, all of these bits of Lysart have all aged. They've either been on roofs and different places in and around here in Victoria. Some of these pieces I can identify. This is from a miner's cottage in Yea. These bits I have actually burnt. I get a lot of corrugated iron, chuck them on a big fire pit when I'm burning off some vegetation from around here in the winter periods. So you get some really, really, really nice, interesting colours happening. And other bits are just aged. And it's amazing how many different bits of rust you get from these different sheets of Lysart roofing iron. So what I do is I cut them all up into little squares and then rivet them all together on a frame. There is at least 1,500 rivets which I've hand riveted into these particular sculptures. As I was saying before, I love my Australian critters. I also love old farm industrial design too. So I thought, what a better way, a combination of combining my metal with some of these old farm implements. I've developed a number of different bird characters, owls, magpies, cockatoos, but these two are my favourites. This one's based on a honey eater, and the flutter around all the grevillea bushes we've got around here, and this one's my blue wren. Love my blue wrens. They're gorgeous birds, and people from all around the world come to Australia to celebrate and have a look at our blue wrens. What I've done is I've made their legs really, really long, and so they just, to celebrate how they move around and skip and hop and do all of those things. What I like them is you generally find them on old industrial machinery, ploughfoots. I've got old wheels down there and old spades and shovels and an old shovel handle. And, you always see them in the gardens moving around. I've even now been cutting firewood and had in this particular area, and blue wrens hopping on my shoulder trying to find the grubs that I've dug up in the dirt. They're glorious birds. Australia has the best critters in the world. Okay, we're now in my studio here. My studio is where I do all my computer and artwork and everything like this. As a consequence, I need a clean environment to do this particular artwork in. Some of this artwork is immensely detailed. For example, that particular red-black cockatoo, there is 70 hours worth of inking, of hand inking with a pen. So I need an environment where I can just sit and just be clean and just do this. And I do about 2 or 3 hours every day doing inking. To do these particular pieces, you need the more detail you put in, the better the outcome. So there's an awful lot of research involved in these particular pieces. One part of the research is the pencil artwork over there called preliminary drawings. So I do those and make sure that I don't bugger it up. I do a couple of those just to make sure everything's right. Scan it into the computer, make sure that everything's okay into the computer, and print it out and do my pen and ink artwork, which is the joy of doing this particular thing. I can't get enough of it, and I enjoy doing my painting artwork. Thank you for listening to me, and hopefully enjoy the environment that we're in. I have open studios. They're generally on the first weekend of every month. Please keep up, have a look at my social medias and the website to keep up to date details and stuff like that. It's always changing. So, and again, thank you very much for tuning in.
Thanks to Shantelle Matcham and Darren Gilbert, and thanks to you for listening and supporting local. Would you or your organisation like to be featured on our program? To register your interest, head over to murrindindi.vic.gov.au/Dindi Live. Dindi Live, bringing the arts to you.
In Murrindindi Shire, it's business as unusual, and right now our local businesses need you. Every dollar you spend locally helps business owners support their family, other businesses and you. Shop local, shop Dindi. Visit dindidirectory.com.au.